Hi everyone, welcome to another Ground Force Method session. I'm Nadav. Today's session will mainly deal with hip openers. Not only, we'll do some other things as well. So we start in the pike position with an ankle series, which is switching between dorsiflexion and plantar flexion, and later some ankle circles or foot circles. When you're in the pike position, remember to keep your back straight, chest out, looking forward. And right now we're moving into the figure 4 switches. And here as well, keep your spine straight, moving into half heel sit right now. And once again, you can see the spine is always straight, back is always straight. Switching from the half heel sit into Turkish get up position. We are slowly starting to open up the hip, and from here moving into the Z position and doing a switch between one side and the other. And this is a movement that I'm currently very much enjoying, straightening the leg backwards and then transitioning into a Z sit on the other side. I really love the way it stretches the hip flexors. From here, moving into active straight leg raise. Make sure to keep your legs extended. Pull your toes to get the maximum stretch here. And from here, switching into the cat camel. This is a very good mobility exercise for the back. Basically what you're doing is creating traction between the vertebrae, creating some distance between the vertebrae, kind of releasing the tension there. And from there, moving into the teacup, which is not specifically a hip mobility exercise, as you can see, but it still is nice to do some other joints as well, to mobilize some other joints. The body is one unit after all, and we need to take care of all the pieces. From here, we're starting to go into a sequence of movements, and we're starting in the prone position, aiming to bring the toes to the buttocks at first, and then to plant the foot. And as important as it is to reach the ground with the foot, it's also important to keep the foot on the ground as you are rolling back, as you can see here. So we're transitioning from the prone into the Turkish get-up position. Try to make those movements as long as possible. Really stretch out the fascia. And I'm doing every step here roughly 4 times. At this moment, we're transitioning from the prone position, from laying down on the stomach, into the Turkish get-up. And right now, moving into the bridge. When you're doing the bridge, really push up with your hip. Try to get it as high up as possible. From here, we're going to continue and bring the pushing leg up, reaching the scorpion position. We'd like to keep the leg straight and the belly button pointing down, and obviously also a straight spine, so that means basically looking down at the ground. When you're coming back, just like before with the Turkish get-up, try to keep your hand on the ground for as long as possible to get the maximum stretch. Don't worry about it. If you have one side that's a little bit shorter than the other, that's perfectly normal. I think you can also see in this video which side of mine is shorter. So from the scorpion position, we actually go back into the Zed position that we visited before. So the upper leg goes down and forward, basically reaching the Zed position. And still remember to keep your movements long and elegant, and really try to feel the stretch and feel the hip opening with everything that you do, with every movement that you do. So right now we're moving into the Z position, and we start with some simple switches. Every time you go back to the Z position, make sure that your back is straight, that your body is 90 degrees to the ground. And right now we're just slowing it down, separating the movement, so the back leg is coming back and forth. And make sure to straighten your leg completely. Pull your toes to you and do the movement as slowly as you can. The slower you do it, the better your control of the movement. Try to keep that leg in the air for as long as possible until you reach your backside. And right now we're doing something that I like to call the Zed Walk. Basically, in the Z position, you bring your back leg forward, bend it a little bit, and just go over the leg and reach the Z position once again. You can definitely do this with hand support. You don't have to do it like I'm doing it. Just put your hands on the ground, push yourself up a little bit, and then move on. From here, we continue with what we call the archer, which is basically the Turkish get-up position, only laying down. Here, just like when you're sitting down, keep your back straight, look up at the ceiling, try to get a maximum distance between your feet. Really imagine that you're stretching a bow. We're back at the figure 4 switches right now. From here, moving into the figure 4 lunge. Keep your back straight, bring your front hand in front of your front foot to prevent it from collapsing. Right now it's the same story, just with rotation, just to have a little more fun, make it a little more interesting. And from here, transitioning into the half heel sit once again. Once again, keep your back straight, look straight forward. From here, we're moving into the mixer. Basically, create circles with your feet. Keep the movement fluid and fun. For this exercise, we're going to a 6-point crawl position. And what we'd like to do right now is really create a movement that covers as much range of motion in the hip as possible. So from the 6-point crawl, just lift your leg up as high as possible, bring it to the side as much as possible, and then tuck it back in, and the same on the way back. Create as big a circle as you can, and then tuck your leg back in. These movements are a little more economic, a little smaller. We're not doing a full circle, we're just going up and then in, up and then in, and on the way back, out, and then extend the leg completely on the way back, and then tuck it back in. We call this movement the zipper. And to finish off, just shake your legs, move your knees from side to side. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed today's session. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and we'll see you next time.